The war between Israel and Hamas is expected to escalate soon with a ground invasion by Israel into Gaza. More than 1 million people have been trying to escape since yesterday when the Israeli military gave civilians 24 hours to leave. Now, that deadline was extended after the United Nations said the evacuation would be impossible without devastating humanitarian consequences. Two safe routes were supposed to close an hour ago. Hamas had urged Palestinians to stay. Israeli tanks are positioned near the border. It's been 1 week since the war started when Hamas launched a surprise terror attack on Israel. At least 3,200 people have been killed. The U.S. pledging its support to Israel.
Joining us now to talk more about how people here can help is Lonnie Nassiter.
Lonnie is the president of the Jewish United Fund. Lonnie, thank you so much for being here. So, we are now 1 week into this latest conflict. Tell us about how you were able to activate in terms of your fundraising and the type of assistance that you plan to provide.
Sure. As an organization that has traditionally given dollars to Israel for Israeli people and society, the Jewish United Fund here in Chicago launched into action when we heard the horrific news literally Saturday morning on Shabbat and also a Jewish holiday. But we recognized the importance of this and we moved into action. We immediately sent $5.5 million of allocations to our organizations that are on the ground helping people deal with the trauma. We then immediately opened up a fund, an Israel emergency fund, and in a matter of 6 days, our community, which is unbelievably generous, has raised over $18 million. An additional $8 million on top of the 5.5 has been sent in the last 2 days.
What do you expect to happen now that Israel looks like it's going to be going into Gaza, starting ground war there? This is only going to get worse as far as the human toll.
Yeah. It's an unfortunate situation. Israel, like any sovereign nation, has obviously an obligation to protect themselves and to make sure that their borders are safe. And that is what they're going to do. We've been encouraged by the fact that I think the entire world, by and large, especially our country, and the strong statements by our president and Secretary of State has said that Israel has been incredibly wounded and affected by this capricious and gruesome terror attack against its people. And as a result, Israel has the right, like any other country, to defend itself, and giving Israel that freedom to do so and secure their borders.
How have you been processing all of this past week, especially seeing the images and hearing the stories?
Sure. As an organization that has a real connection to Israel, and in my role, I go to Israel a lot. I have a lot of friends and people that I really love, and I have a staff and colleagues that are actually in Jerusalem. It's been very personal, ranging from emotions of sadness to anger to despair. And I recognized early on that I needed to compartmentalize things, and I needed to kind of put my emotions to the side and take on my role as a president of this organization and focus on how can we do something to help. And as I mentioned before, it's a matter of resources, but also what can we do in our community to really kind of make sure our community is there to mourn. We had a rally on Tuesday, actually a gathering more than a rally, just to kind of bring our community together. The governor spoke, comptroller spoke, congressman spoke, and it was an opportunity for us as a community to heal, to make sure that our government had the back of the Israelis during this time, and our community needed it. And so for me, it's been very sad personally, but I also recognize that we have work to do. And we're going to continue to do that work throughout this crisis.
With your staff in Jerusalem, what is this money going to be used for? Because you have Palestinians now trying to get out of Gaza. Are there Israeli civilians trying to get out of Israel to a safer spot?
I would say that's not really the focus right now. I think most Israelis are recognizing this is their homeland, this is their country, proud to be there, they're resolute. For us, the aid is really going to go to relocation efforts, trauma, respite for children, figuring out ways that we can be on the ground for humanitarian crisis. This has been a bloodbath of epic proportions. There's going to be need for not just months, maybe even years. And so our focus is going to be on the ground, helping the people really kind of recover from this gruesome, gruesome attack.
And as you mentioned, I mean, there's so much uncertainty over how long this could go on.
That's right. That's right. And as we speak, rockets are continuing to fire into Israel. So there's no cessation here. It just continues to go on. And my staff that I mentioned, aren't leaving their homes, and they're in Jerusalem. So the majority of Israelis are still in shock and awe of what's happened. They're literally laying to rest their loved ones, but they're also dealing with young children who have been traumatized. And the whole country is reeling.
Is there a safe spot in Israel? It is not a large country.
It is not a large country, and if you look at just the numbers of what's happened here, 1,300 dead would actually kind of equate to almost 48,000 Americans, and so the numbers, and it is small, as you said. I think the country is resolute, and they're going to be determined to figure out a way to get out of this and maintain a normal sense of life once this is over. But there's a lot that's going to be needed to heal, and in terms of even their sense of confidence in their government and defense, and how to make sure that they have faith that they can live their lives as hopefully most people do in their respective countries.
All right, Lonnie, thank you so much. And for more information on the Jewish United Fund, visit their website at juf.org. You can also find them on social media.